All right, Aries. You wanted to go next? Cancer was supposed to be next. Don't be bullying no cancers out here or people with cancer in their chart. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. You know, cancers commit the most crimes of passion. I think you need to be careful. Know that birth chart. Know yours and know theirs. You don't know what a person got up underneath all of that in their shell. I just get like it was an Aesop fable where it was a lion that had a bone in its foot, and the mouse is the one that helped it. It was like, you were trying to eat me just a minute ago, but now you need my help. So be careful with people that you feel are docile or passive. Being aggressive with them is not the answer. If they're passive and you're aggressive, that's a mental illness for the both of y'all waiting to happen. Manic depressive, passive aggressive. You don't want them kind of problems. So if a person has an inactive or a passive type of energy, and you push, or you don't see them as somebody who really wants to smoke, like you're not sure, but you know who you are, so that's all that matters. You need to be wary. We have the heart chakra, and it's rough. It's the rough stones. This is something you need to work on. Not necessarily going with things off the top of your head and just whatever comes out, comes out. Like, you're going to have to, crown chakra. Finally. You really going to have to think about this one. Heart chakra. You've been growing. You've been growing. Cool, I give you that. You've been growing. You've been doing your thing. But you're not there 100% just yet. That reform that you've been going through, trying to turn a new leaf or turn a new page, or not let the old you come up. It's like a tug and war between your abstract mind and your logical mind. There has to be a median. There's something in the middle, because it's like, if I make this decision with my heart, they're gonna think I'm a bitch. If I make this decision with my head, I come off as a bitch. So either way, there's some bitch assness and some bitch ass shit going on. And it's almost as if you don't want to be seen in a certain way, or you also don't want to feel a certain way, as if you didn't get the justice that you deserve. And that's not for you to judge. It's just anything in comparison to you, you're always going to put yourself as the victor. You're always going to put yourself as the person who your actions, you're not judging your actions. You're judging actions that you feel are imposed on you or coming towards you. And if someone is not actually active, if they're a passive type of person, then they're not forcing an action on you. It's quite the opposite. So what you're feeling, this person forced my hand to react in a certain way, that was all you. That was your decision. They didn't do it to you. This is how your impulses run. So you're in the middle of, like, it's like namaste, and then it's namaste the fuck in your lane. It's like, it's too it's a way to do shit. It's a way to do shit. And that's where this is kind of asking you to be a little more aware of how you're making strides in your, or making ripples in your environment, making waves in your environment. Just saw the Temperance card. You're getting information, you're getting downloads, which is cool. But with the perspective you have now, because if you've always been this type of way where, and not, I won't say always been this type of way, where you've kind of learned to be this type of way to people, like they got me fucked up, so this is the way I need to present myself. You're on the right track, but you're not there. You're not there yet. This isn't a fuck you pay me type of vibe. This is like, maybe at one point you had to learn what your power was all about, and then when you got a taste of it, you you kept going. Somebody's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, you don't know me, shut the fuck up. All right, you gonna learn. So you might as well just let me tell you. You might as well just let me speak on it. I'm not speaking from a place of judgment. I'm speaking from a place that has prominent Aries placements. So I know this energy, and I know what it feels like in my motherfucking skin. So if you feel like I'm coming at you, meet me in the comments, and then we can meet up in person. And we can go Aries energy for Aries energy if you want to. But I'm not a fighter. I'm a teacher. Nobody can tell you about your energy. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't fucking apply to you. And you can keep moving. But for those who want to hear, there's a lot going on with this. You may meet your match where you assume passivity. It may be calculation. So don't get fucked up misjudging a situation based off of what you're always basing your decisions off of. You know, it's gonna cause you a headache. Unnecessarily. Okay. This card flipped up. Spirituality. What's at the bottom? Health. What the fuck was I saying? When it comes to spirituality, and if you're becoming more familiar with your spirituality, especially when it comes to people who have already been on one aspect of a spiritual nature or a religious nature, and you're coming to the spiritual community, there is a lot of influence to, oh, because you're a spiritual being, nobody can fuck with you, you know, you're a queen, and you're this, and you're a king, and there's a flood of information. But what one doesn't understand is you still have to go through the process of growth. Just like with the religion, people were sent to Sunday school and went to Bible studies before they sat in the first, fucking row of the pews. You earn your way up to them points. You earn your space, even in a religious way. So spirituality is no different. When you start taking them baby steps, people are trying to go from Sunday school to deacon, and now trying to teach the congregation shit that they haven't even learned. You can talk it, but can you be it? That's what your heart chakra is. This is what the confusion is about, because you've gotten the download, or you've gotten the go ahead and start exercising this girth of your ability or your power or your heart space. That's vibration. But if it's not a vibration you're naturally sustaining on your own, it's just an influence. People are attracted to certain people because those people are constantly high. Not high from substance. Even though weed is a plant, this and this and that. But the reason why people need it so much is because they don't stay consistently high. marijuana brings them to heights that they like to be in. And when they're not smoking, their natural vibration is there. And it's like, oh, well, it expands my mind. And that's what spirituality does. The use of marijuana is an expansion of a vibration. So if a person who is highly, highly spiritual does use marijuana, they're gonna ghost your motherfucking ass, and they're gonna be off somewhere completely different in vibrations that you couldn't fathom, accessing things that you couldn't fathom. So it's the spiritual high that people are seeking by using those substances is not a natural vibration. This is just like love and light. You're a queen, femininity, individuality. You a king. You this hotel. That's You're in a space where you're learning stuff and you're not quite there, and where your heart knows it should be going. And the crown chakra has given you this information. So now you're feeling it, but it's not an embodiment quite yet. So there's this excitement, this vigor, this uptick that could even have you going off on motherfuckers because you're in a more enlightened space. And it's like, because my spirituality, blah, 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 blah. And you lay somebody out and, read them for filth. And it's like, okay, because this is something I have to be careful with as well. I can't tell anyone anything that I haven't first addressed with myself. So when I come on here, it's from a place of having gone from Sunday fucking school all the way up to the first pew in the church, and on the spirituality scale, starting as a beginner, where there was no access to all this shit on YouTube. And for when I started watching on YouTube, it was few and far between. So there was none of this twin flame shit up here. There was none of this, black magic shit. It was none of it. I learned real and raw and had to take the steps to get to where the fuck I'm at now. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when I come and tell you, hey, baby, there's levels to this shit. You like to get your hands on something new. You like to start new things. You like to keep the flow going. You like to switch it up. That's fine. But there's certain principles and there's certain basics. There's certain things that you just need to know, that getting there fast or just taking off and getting into it, you're going to end up in a dark night of the soul. And it's going to be given to you by someone you felt was passive. Now, when that you shifted energy and it's asking you to dial it back, it's asking you to be more considerate, it's asking you certain things, it's going to come through in the form of a lesson through another person that you misjudged, because the spirituality and the eye for the spirituality had not been fully developed to see these types of things. This is why sitting your ass down and taking the time, even though it's so prevalent and there's so much information, you have to use your heart to know what's for you. Immerse yourself in that thing. Learn that thing. Then move on to the next topic. Move on to the next level. And then it's like you start something and you don't get it to the finish line. You don't get it to totality before you start doing something else. And this is scattering your spiritual energy, and the heart chakra is in disarray because you haven't completely healed the parts of you that are still rough around the heart, but you're presenting yourself in a very refined way. And the difference that sits in between is the knowing. There's something else that you need to know. This card has been sitting here. Oh, that's a spirituality card. Okay. We have rebirth. Okay. I knew I felt spiritual partnership, leadership, self-discipline. This is that heart, right? That has to be exercised. You have health and surrender. There's some shit in your life as we speak. You can be as self-proclaimed spiritual as you want to be, there's something that you haven't let go of that keeps your heart in this rough, abrasive state. And what you do want is this spiritual partnership and being able to take the lead without being required to be the leader. It's something that you can go into knowing that your leadership won't be diminished or be burdensome. Like, because you can lead doesn't mean that you should have to lead every fucking thing. So I still feel a lash out with this communication surrounding this root chakra when it comes to family, when it comes to the people that are close to your core. It could have, the relationship with your, because the spiritual relationship, the person's alignment turns you on. They're knowing, they have a very high sense of spiritual knowing, and you're on your way, but you're not quite there. I do feel like there is something specific when it comes to this tower death type of situation that has not ended, but is on its way out, still being held onto, and it's splitting your spirituality into. It's like both of your natures are looking at each other, because where you want to be and where you are recognized as being this heart-based, kind, nurturing, giving, caring, enlightened type of individual, but you also have this roughness about the heart that is still impacting another situation. It's like that thorn. It's a thorn in your fucking foot, the bane of your existence. It's that kind of thing. And the whole lesson with this crown chakra and the spirituality is to get you to a level of understanding that they're showing you something specific, and you're still missing it because you're seeing it as it's being imposed on you, not something that you're actually partaking in or have a part to play in. So you're not seeing the duality in the situation. You're seeing it as action imposed, as if they're not similar events, because it does yield some type of situational effect. It does affect your foundation, because there's too many root chakra cards here, or too many cards that have root chakra influence. So the heart can be overactive at this time, passionate it's like, how do I want to phrase this? For the love of me, like it's doing something that isn't necessarily kind or nice, but doing it in the name of love. And it's like, no, that doesn't equate. Like, let's call a spade a spade. This shit is, no. If you're trying to bring karma onto someone, or you feel like you have to deliver it, it wasn't your package to deliver. And that will give you a reaction when karma comes back around. It's like you put yourself in crossfire unnecessarily. If you feel like a person is passive and that maybe you need to give them a kick in the ass in order for them to begin or to actually take action, they're not you. What may come easy to you is not going to come easy to the next person. And because you just get it, that's the way your energy is built. You have to understand they've never been that person. They've always been who they are, and you've always known that. So allowing them to take you out of your character in order to inflict or to say or to cause this reactive type of, in the name of what I love, or with, I put it on what I love, or, it's something that it just, it's like, I can't tell, because love wouldn't act in this way, or it wouldn't react in this way. If it was all about the love, if it was truly about the love, it wouldn't act like this. And nobody's to say what love should look like, but what I'm saying is the intent is not equal to what is being assigned it. Okay. So if you're really in the space of spirituality, you do have to take the lead and be the example of what, I'm getting those Gandhi type of vibes and stuff like this. Like, choose peace. If you were truly choosing peace, there were certain things that would transpire. If you could honestly choose the peace, you could have peace. Nobody is denying you peace. This is a thorn in your fucking shoe. We have the Star. There has been a lot of healing that's taken place. I see that shit. That's why your heart chakra is able to radiate outwards towards other people. But then there's a part of your heart that still has this rough around the edges, that has different types of intent attached to it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You'll be able to see it. It's gonna take you a minute, but you inevitably you will see it. These came face down. I'm keeping them that way, and then I'll flip them when it's time. And one more. One more for Aries. Yeah. Okay. We have the Fool, and so we have the Star. We have the Two of Swords, Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and the Hermit. You don't see it now, but it's the hindsight that is 2020. You were in a state of healing, right? Yeah, I'm healing. I've gotten over that. That doesn't faze me. But there was a part of the situation, or part of the healing process, where ignorance was used. I'm going to ignore this because if I don't put my attention on it, it won't manifest. If I don't put my attention on it, it has no control over me. That's one aspect of spirituality. That's something that they will teach you, but they won't teach you how to master your own mind, because the mind itself, to ignore, is awareness that you're being ignorant. You have certain things that are in the subconscious that you may not have access to because they're traumatic. Or they're insights and foresight that may not come through because how you will react to them, not being completely ready for certain truths. This is why certain things will be kept from you. It's an intentional, energetic safety mechanism that your mind has agreed to do for you. Your spirit has agreed to do for you, because you will not take some of this truth in kind. It will very clearly take you out of your character. The character that you're wanting to present yourself as now, even though the work is still in progress. It is not fully complete. There are no completion cards. You do have spiritual partnership, the 2 and 7, but I think it's, and it could be with another person that you're talking to, or what you're seeking at this point. But it's facing some very, very, very specific things when it comes to your connection with people and your sexual energy that you're sharing with people. Because nobody can ruffle your feathers like someone that you've been intimate and vulnerable and exposed with. And I do feel that this is a person that has seen you in ways that no one really gets to see you. So it does affect you mentally. This could affect your public image when it comes to health. And there won't be anything that you can do about it if they were to get you to show your true colors in relation to this pain, or relation to these memories, or relation to this situation not being a desired outcome. The Five of Swords is clearly like, hey, at any moment it's a threat to really come to a head. So you have the Two of Swords, and then you have the Four of Pentacles, and these are two ignorant, closed off energies. And you'll understand after the fact, in hindsight, that they're not unlike each other. They're not unlike each other. They're just in two different modes of operating that makes it seem as if they're different. So you're looking at a person as if they don't do this, they don't do that, they're not like this, they don't take action, Give them the right environment and corner them, and it will be all hell breaking loose, and this could hurt your public image. So this is asking you to just be mindful, be very mindful of, because you're about to take off. You have this Fool card, you have the Star card. This has gotten you to a point where you're ready to move into the next stage, but there are still unfinished things that are cropping up, and they will slow down your progress. But they will ask you more for self-discipline, and it will be more demanding for your self-discipline, which will be unlike you, to stifle your voice or to be the fuck quiet on something and not having to argue that point, or not having to get that word in edgewise, not having to show all of your side of the story. It's really telling you that pushing this, or pushing someone to take an action, it could cost you. We have Judgment, that was face down. What else? King of Cups, that was face down. Eight of Cups, that was face down. Yeah, this is going to force someone's hand. And the reaction that you get from the action you take is not going to be something that you like. I feel like in one way, it'll be like, yeah, I got what I wanted, but not necessarily. It's like a pushing energy. Show me one more for this. Just not giving a fuck no more. A person who just does not give a fuck anymore is likely to do anything. There's Seven of Cups, Lovers, and then they have the Eight of Cups here. And what's going to happen is they're going to leave you with Nine Swords and take the Six of Wands. They're an irritant, but you won't be able to ignore it anymore. You'll have to address it. But by the time you do, this person will be on their way, gone already. But if I'm gone already, then there's nothing left for you to say. Why are you talking to me? Now you're causing provocation. This is what you wanted. It's that kind of thing. So it's a sense of there's a blaring out or a blurting out of information here with this Judgment card. The King of Cups is underneath this Five of Swords. The Four of Pentacles, underneath that is the Eight of Cups. And it's like, because somebody has called someone's bluff, they actually have something in their hand. And they're not just, they're going to use it. And they've been holding back from doing this because they have these details, they have these secrets, they have this information, and they didn't want to cause harm. There's certain words, there's certain exchanges, there's certain information that they have kept close to their vest that doesn't even belong to them. And they haven't said anything, and they've been pushed. Oh, fuck. Tower energy, I said. That rebirth is a 16. That is Tower energy. That's it. In order for this shit to end, because really the way I'm seeing it is like this. In order for this shit to end, it's going to have to be abrupt. It's going to have to shake your ass and really give you that sense of there is nothing, there is nothing left in that situation for me. I cannot. No, it's resolute. It's like, now you see why you were supposed to let it go. Now you see what the dark night of the soul is all about. Now you see why ignoring this thing or ignoring its effect on you is not helping you in your spiritual growth at all. It's not helping you in your spiritual partnership at all, because you encountered that in order to have certain skills and abilities for whatever comes up in your partnership. That is a rough course or a rough draft of the final product. So you have these sixes here, these six energies, and I'm telling you now, these are all six vibrations. Okay? This is the predominant energy of whenever you felt like you won, or you got a leg up on them, or had the edge, a leg up, you had an advantage or whatever. It was in this energy. Whenever it was this that was used, oh, look what we have. Look at our past. This familiarity, it's been used as a tactic. It's been used in this controlling type of energy. And it's always been asking you to just let it fucking go. Let it fucking go. Let it die. Let it go. Rebirth. Tower. Let it fucking go. Because these two energies together are a six, but they're not balanced. One is a 2, one is a 4. One has swords, one has pentacles, but they're doing the same thing, and they're looking at each other like the other one is the one doing it. You're both in the devil energy. You're both in the Six of Cups energies, bringing up the past, reliving the past. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you've known each other since you were kids, but it's still like you both are being ignorant. And it's going to have an effect on the spiritual partnerships that are trying to take both of you, because spirituality is 2 sevens. 7 and 7 is trying to take you both to the next level. But you can't even see that you've been under the influence of 6, 6, and 6, which would be 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. If you want to go there, it is the composition of carbon, a very dense mineral. All right? Diamonds do come from carbon, coal. Pressure, though. You apply that motherfucking pressure, and then after time, you get the refined product. You get this beautiful ass product, right? But not without all the fucking pressure. This here, it's time. Let the shit go. You don't have to fight these battles anymore. Here is also a 6. So it could have been that romantic draw, that romantic pull that keeps a motherfucker stuck in a situation like this. And that's all good and fine. But your spiritual partnership will suffer if you do not pump brakes on this shit and settle it once and for all. Ignoring it is not going to take care of it. You have to address every fucking thing. Speak your piece without being the aggressor in a situation. Like, I'm going to make sure that this happens. I'm going to make sure you do this. If you're going to be done with it, if you're going to say, all's well that ends well, it is what it is, or whatever saying that you want to say in reference to this shit, let it be honest and let it be true and let it stand on your word, because your actions are conflicting what your desire is. So you have heart chakra in a refined state outwardly. This is how some people view you, but on the inside, you still have this thorn, and it is very much a thick ass thorn. Now, this motherfucker ain't no hope. This goddamn thorn is gonna take your ass for a motherfucking ride. I'm telling you, the conflictual energy that comes with keeping this thorn, this bane of your existence, is going to erupt, and it's going to burst like a fucking boil. Which could lead you into, justice and Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords, and, what I'm saying, people in your business and courts involved, and you don't need it. You don't need it if you could just amicably and be like, I am the bigger person because I do have that sense of leadership. I got to lead by example. This is how you adult, and this is how it's done. Go in there guns blazing, and you gonna have motherfuckers already locked and loaded. And I'm speaking about whomever this is that is the bane of your existence, the thorn in your fucking side. Why though? Because you love him? But the love that you're desiring and the love that you're on your way to feels nothing like that. So is it love though? I'm asking. I want to know. It doesn't feel the same. Love doesn't agitate. There's certain things that they do ruffle your feathers, and they do have you see certain things, and they do make you a better person. But this, at this point, it's just irritant. But it's supposed to irritate something specific. So that's what you heal, that's what you grow from, that's what you learn, that's what you evolve, that's what you develop as a spiritual trait, as a mechanism of defense, because you'll be able to sense it. You'll have the emotional discernment to catch on whenever this shit tries to come back up, because you'll have already dealt with it in full. This is karma. So if you're trying to administer karma to someone, you're in a lesson of karma for yourself. You can't bring the karma. You can't cause anyone to feel karma. You're in the middle of a karma lesson. You're on your way to dharma to receive the reward from it, but you have to actually finish the fucking karma first. And you don't want to let it die, but you want to kind of ignore it and hoping it'll just go away. But it's there. The nuisance is still there. You can still feel it. It's very much in your heart space. So, all right, Aries, goddamn. I don't know why you bullied me to rush and do your reading, or to, you know what I'm saying? Capricorn just had a great ass reading. You know, that's your cardinal cousin, so y'all need to check it out. But yeah, your discipline is going to be the challenge. That 4 and 1 energy is a 5, but also it's like you still have yourself first, and you have this solid foundation, or this rigid way of being. It's like the emperor and the magician trying to manifest only what you're desiring, what you think is best for everyone involved, and you're trying to assert leadership in that way. But you being the example, and just let them see you produce, versus trying to make these decisions or force a decision on someone else, that won't fare you well. Once you step into that divine and aligned vibration of leadership, the spiritual partnership will fall into place. It's a 2 and a 7, and it will be very spiritual. You'll be partnered with another person who matches you spiritually and also sensually, but in a very high vibrational divine way. This leadership is going to take all of your reserve and all of your power. 8 is a number of power, and up until this point, the power you've been using has been very forceful, and it's been detrimental in some cases, or overkill. It's been just a little too dominant, where it should have been a little more allowing of things to play out. 8 is the number of athletes and professionals and stuff like that. There is a lot of injury when they get too forceful. There are fouls that are made when they get too forceful. They become labeled as the belligerent party. You understand? But it still has that 1. So you're thinking about yourself when you're using this power. You're thinking about yourself when you're implementing this discipline and trying to make things stable. But you're expecting someone else to be able to compromise, help you. These are self-focused, self-driven energies. And it's because you need the harmony. 1 being the individual, and the 6 being community, being home. It's like the Cancer energy, which you imposed upon. You're going to get a lesson from them. That Cancer energy is going to have to domesticate you, because it is a card about the mother, the softness. Even if you're a man, there's a certain sense of care that needs to be taken with whatever this is. And it's been a lot of forcefulness and boxy type of energy. Look at this Most of these crystals have a rough or tumbled, and they're a little oblong. This motherfucker is very boxy when it comes to the self-discipline. It's like a certain, it's very militant, or it's a controlled. Even if there's chaos, it's like I have to control the chaos instead of it being chaos that can be easily controlled. Or um, but in doing so, it is causing this rebirth energy, this tower energy, because it's going to erupt at home. It's going to shake up your foundation. So why would you put your foundations in harm's way? You can, and it's like, because this has been your point of control. You have been doing this operating from a point of self versus what's best for everyone, truly best for everyone involved. And this does affect your spiritual health. It really, really does. So maybe in this regard, you're going to have to surrender through leadership, or surrender the leadership you think you have in a situation. You're not like the end all be all. You don't have the final say, but you've been making a lot of calls in reference to what I say goes, and it's not faring well. It's going to come, it's going to be confrontational. And that's exactly what you don't want. So I hope you get a message from this, a real lesson from this. When people seem docile on the surface, you don't know what's behind the scenes. And if you're extra, you're overtly dominant in a situation, and a person is covertly dominant, and you don't sense it, you don't see it, so you don't think it's there, but they could be put into a situation where they do have the upper hand because this leadership was taken advantage of, or taken overboard. Be mindful.